You can live off of $500,000 in the bank and do nothing else. I'm Ash, and with this video, I want to show you with data and real-life examples of how to do exactly that. You know what's even more crazy? Some people retired with $500,000, but their portfolio is now over $1 million.
That's quite big.
So let's first answer this. How do we know $500,000 is enough? There's a rule in the early retirement community that we all love called the 4.8% rule. Bruh, I keep calling it the 4.8% rule in this video. It should be 4.7% to be the most exact. Sorry. And basically, it says if you withdraw about 4.8% per year from your investment portfolio, there's a 95% chance that your money will never run out. Okay, some of y'all might be like, huh? A perpetual money-making machine? In this economy? Press X to doubt. But no, it's actually backed by math and historical data. Here is a simple version. So let's say you have $500,000 invested in a total market or S&P 500 index fund. Historically, the average return is about 8% per year, which ends up being around $40,000. And if you withdraw 4.8%, which is around $24,000 per year, so even after your withdrawals, your portfolio will still grow. So next year, instead of the $500,000, you start off with $516,000. Then the market grows again by 8% and suddenly you are at $557,280. You see where I'm going with this? And if you chart this out over several years, something super crazy starts to happen. Even while you're taking money out, your portfolio keeps growing. And yes, honey, this is where you do a double take and clap the cheeks of your choice. This gives a logical and practical solution to the fear of what if inflation eats all of my money? And lucky for us, historically speaking, portfolios following this strategy tend to match or even outpace inflation. Okay, now let's talk about an actual human who has actually done this. Here is an early retiree named Purple. She runs a website called A Purple Life, where she documents her whole entire process of getting to FIRE and how she's now living the FIRE life. If pie charts and tracking your spending down to the last penny makes you feel a certain type of way, she's your girl. So Purple, she retired in 2019 at the age of 30 with just $500,000. She used the 4.8% rule and now lives as a digital nomad. And here is the part that broke my brain. After 7 years of retirement, her portfolio is now over $1 million. Huh? Like, she did not only retire early, but somehow ended up with even more money? Now, this doesn't mean that the 4.8% rule doesn't have any risks. So let's talk about the risks and how to handle them next. The two biggest risks are the 30-year retirement plan theory and the first 5 years of FIRE. We'll come back to the first one, but here is how another early retiree, Christy Shin, who retired at 32, dealt with the first and often riskiest 5 years of early retirement. Bruh, like how many times can I say early retirement in one paragraph? This was a test. Like if you've read her book, Quit Like a Millionaire, you would know she's an extremely anxious person. Like her husband has to hide her hair loss so she doesn't get even more anxious type of anxious. So if she's not only able to survive but thrive with these strategies, I will give my nod of approval as well. The first 5 years of early retirement are the most dangerous because of the sequence of return risk. If the market crashes early and you keep withdrawing the same amount, your portfolio could shrink so much that it never fully recovers, even after the market bounces back. And historically speaking, the worst downturns last about 2 to 3 years, which is why the first 5 years matter so much. Christy uses two tools to handle this: the yield shield and the cash cushion. The goal of these two strategies are very simple. Minimize touching your main portfolio during the first 5 years. Okay, light math moment. Stay with me though. I believe in you. And also, I will leave a timestamp below just in case you need to come back in the future.
Then, Kaguya, push those big, beautiful brain cells of yours to their limits!
Okay, first of all, yield shield. So instead of holding low-yielding index funds, which usually pay around 2%, Christy temporarily reallocates part of her portfolio into higher-yielding assets that pay around 4 to 6% a year. And she holds these assets for the first 5 years of her early retirement. And because yields are mostly locked in when you buy, the income is more stable even if the market dips. And these are the high-yielding assets that she has bought: preferred shares, REITs, corporate bonds, and dividend stocks. And after reallocating, her portfolio yields around 3.4% or $16,000 a year. I'll put on screen the exact assets that she has bought, and also you can find this table in her book as well. But wait, what if your expenses is $20,000 a year? This is where the cash cushion comes in. So it's $20,000 in expenses minus $16,000 from the yield shield, which leaves a $4,000 gap. And since the first 5 years are the riskiest, you'd keep around $20,000 in cash to cover this. This way, you are not forced to sell the investments during a market downturn. Okay, now let's come back to the first risk, which is that the 4.8% rule is based on the study of a 30-year retirement period. And here is Christie's solution, which is perpetual re-retirement. So what you do is that every year during your early retirement, you want to rerun your numbers using a tool like FiCalc.app, just to make sure that your success rate stays around 95%. And the reason why it is 95% is because the study shows that you'll have a 95% chance of your money lasting you the whole duration of your retirement if you withdraw 4.8% every year. So let's take a look at an example of how to deal with a portfolio that drops below a 95% success rate. By the way, if you also feel like working till you're 65 does not spark joy, make sure to subscribe for more content that will help you buy back your time way before that. Okay, here's the example. Market drops by 5%. The portfolio goes from $500,000 to $475,000. Your expenses is still $20,000, and your success rate might drop to around $92,000. Still good, but not ideal. But here is what you can do. First, add the $16,000 from your yield shield, then add $4,000 from your cash cushion. Your withdrawal is still $20,000, and now as you can see, yippee! You're back to 95% success rate. Also, an important note before your panicky brain starts locking in on the 5% failure rate like a lifeboat full of doo-doo. Failure in this study means that you will blindly withdraw 4.8% from your portfolio no matter what happens to the market. Like, no matter how much portfolio dips, you will withdraw until it reaches $0. Like, a real human being would have looked at their decreasing portfolio and adjusted way before that happens. Okay, but your panicky brain speaks again. Like, what if I use my yield shield and my cash cushion and I still cannot get back to 95%? Well, here are 3 more powerful levers you can choose to pull. Number 1 is geo arbitrage. So what you can do to drastically decrease your living expenses is by going and living somewhere a lot cheaper. For example, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Mexico, or Portugal. The terms you can use to help yourself online to search is by using terms like expat or low cost of living countries. Number 2 would be starting a side hustle. Number 3 would be part-time work. For me, I really loved working as a kids summer camp leader. So if I were to look for any other kinds of part-time work, I will look for interesting seasonal work that I have never tried before. Like, for example, working on a farm or working as a golf caddy. Thank you, Sorairo Utility, for inspiring me on that one. All three either lower expenses or add income, which means that you will be withdrawing less, and thus your success rate will go up. Also, drop a like if any of the stuff that we're talking about right now in this video is helping you reach your own financial freedom goals. Like, for real, if there's a way to physically drop a like on Christy's book, it would have exploded because of my spam. Love? Okay, let's tackle an objection some of you guys might want to make at this point. But $20,000 a year sounds kind of miserable. Totally fair, I see where you're coming from. Like, if your dream retirement includes golf courses, penthouses, 3 Mustangs, and a fedora, yeah, $20,000 ain't gonna be enough. But if you know exactly what makes you happy, this strategy might be the final key you need to reach nirvana. Things like spending time with loved ones, getting better at hobbies, contributing to something bigger than yourself, like getting involved in your community, and also freedom of choice. None of these things have a big ass price tag to them. I'm not saying that this works for every scenario, and I definitely recommend that you consult with a financial planner before making any big financial decisions. And there's so many other topics and strategies like tax optimization, healthcare, insurance, kids, which Christy covers all of these topics in her book, by the way. Like, my only goal for this video is to be a seed of hope, if you may, to show that this is actually possible. Purple did it, Christy did it and wrote a whole freaking book about it. Mr. Money Mustache did it with a kid. And maybe someone watching this can be like, hey, if they were able to do it and show how they were able to do it, maybe I can do it too. I did some deep dives on how exactly Purple and Mr. Money Mustache were able to achieve early retirement in their 30s. Here's the playlist, and I'll see you over there. Early retirement, let's go, let's go, let's go. Early retirement. Okay, bye.